What is going on, guys? Thank you so very much for stopping by the channel once again today. I got a little bit of extra for you. It is May 18th, 2022. I am JD from New York. As always, coming to you live from the OTS venue. Thank you guys so very much for joining me on your Wednesday afternoons, wherever you may be. Every single day, man, there's more and more news to come out about this Sasha Banks and Naomi situation. If you guys don't know, Sasha Banks and Naomi walked out of WWE during Monday Night Raw, citing creative differences. I've been on top of this like flies on shit all week, and we got more news today, including Sasha Banks now being accused of manipulating Naomi for her to walk out with Sasha on Monday night during Monday Night Raw. Some people even think that Sasha and Naomi walking out is still a work and that this is a publicity stunt. It is not a work. This is 100% a shoot. Jimmy Smith even chimed in on his podcast, and he talked about what it felt like to be at the commentary table while all this was happening and his opinion on both of them walking out. And an exclusive that Sasha Banks has reportedly alienated everyone backstage in WWE with her husband, Mikaze, dumbing down a rumor. And the rumor was that WWE pulled Sasha Banks and Naomi off of live events. He debunked that as a false narrative. I got all that plus so much more right here on OTS. Follow me on social media, guys. Thank you to all the new followers and all the new subscribers at JDfromNY206. That's Twitter and Instagram. Hit that subscribe button down below. If you guys are new, thank you so very much for following me during this tumultuous time right now. If you're a Sasha Banks fan, you want to know what's going on, I got you covered, man. Don't worry. Hit that subscribe button. Thank you to all the new followers on the YouTube channel. If you guys are old, I appreciate your support, man. I'll see you live back for AEW Dynamite with Jesse tonight after what is a major Dynamite episode where Tony Khan is already announced that there will be surprises tonight for the Owen Hart Cup. Also, make sure you guys go check out all the other Sasha Banks news and innuendo, the rumors and everything, man. I got you covered. Monday Night Raw, we did a huge live stream last night with 4,000 people. Anything you guys want to know on the Sasha Banks situation, I got you covered. It's all on the homepage. So if you missed any of those videos, go and check that stuff out. And make sure you guys go and get my new t-shirt, man. We are now in the summer months. I got some new merch for you, man. I am the Don of the IWC. Make sure you guys go get your new t-shirt today on bonfire.com. I'd love to blow away the sales numbers with this one. So if you guys want to support, that's a great way to do so, man. Bonfire.com. I want to thank them and their great team for getting this artwork done for me so you guys can wear the podcast proud during the summer months. Let's get into it, man. Gonna start off with this one. Sasha Banks is being accused of manipulating Naomi to walk out on Monday night during Raw. Sasha and Naomi walked out, and everybody knows this right now due to creative direction, creative indifference with Bruce Pritchard, John Laurinaitis, and Vince McMahon. At this point, it seems that most of the heat right now is coming down on Sasha Banks, and for good reason. Ringside News. They've gotten their exclusive spot on. Everything else is a little iffy. But Ringside News asked around about the situation, and they were told that the heat is primarily on Sasha Banks. A tenured member of the creative team confirmed to Ringside News that Naomi is very popular. We were additionally told, says Ringside News, many people feel Naomi was manipulated by Sasha into walking out. This was a big reason why we've heard about Sasha Banks taking a majority of the blame for this situation, while Naomi's name has not been dragged much at all. Now, while speaking with SE Scoops, Cameron, Naomi's former partner in the Funkadactyls, Cameron, as you guys know, one of the worst professional wrestlers on any planet, period. Cameron, a good friend of Naomi, talked about Naomi walking out. Cameron stated that Naomi would never do this thing on her own. She accused Sasha Banks of manipulating Naomi into walking out of the WWE on Monday night. She says, and I quote, "My girl Naomi, she wouldn't do this. And I feel like she wouldn't do this unless she had someone manipulating her and telling her how to do this. Let's best believe if I was there, coming as a funkadactyl, we wouldn't have this happening at all. First of all, nobody wants you anywhere. And if you were there, you probably would have been gone way before any of this happened because she's just not cut out for the wrestling industry." Again, Sasha is Sasha, she says. You have Snoop Dogg as your cousin. You're a top athlete. You can do whatever the fuck you want to do. That was the word used there. Whatever the fuck you want to do. You can literally say what you want to say and do what you want to do with no repercussion. And if you're a star athlete, I feel like she can back it up. The one thing that she can do is she can back it up. It's not like, oh, she can have all these people who can back her up without having the talents to do so or the beauty to do so. I don't understand why this is now becoming what it appears to be, to me, a Sasha Banks smear campaign. Oh, Sasha this, oh, Sasha that, oh, Sasha this, Sasha that. Why is this becoming a Sasha Banks smear campaign now, whether it's the IWC, whether it's WWE, or it's an ex-WWE talent or creative writer coming out of nowhere who's no longer there? I'll get to him in a second. Why are all these people now making it out to be a Sasha Banks smear campaign? I don't understand this. As if Naomi didn't have a fucking reason to walk out on her own. Why does she need Sasha Banks to manipulate Naomi? Why does Naomi need Sasha Banks to manipulate the situation into walking out? Naomi's not her own woman. She's not a grown fucking woman. She can't make decisions on her own. She doesn't have a career of her own to decide whether or not she's being used properly, whether she's fed up with creative, whether her creative direction going into the summer was fucking dreadful and god-awful. She's not someone that has her own mind to think about what she wants to do. She needs Sasha to tell her what to do, or does she have her own eyeballs where she could see everything that's happening right before them and make a decision like this on her own? I don't really get this story of Sasha manipulating Naomi into walking out on Monday Night Raw. It doesn't really resonate with me. I don't find this to be factual. Now, Ringside News posted this as an exclusive. You may not like Ringside News. I've cited them on the podcast several different times. They've gotten most of their exclusives correct, but I don't necessarily believe this because just from the chatter I see online and everybody now talking in the backstage environment, people not backing Sasha Banks, it seems like this is a smear campaign. And it's almost as if nobody will come to the defense of Sasha Banks because they don't want to ruin their own status in the company. They don't want to ruin what they got going on in the company, which is understandable. They don't want to come out and say everything how it really should be said, that the creative sucks. Everybody keeping quiet is justifying the fucking terrible creative. I want you guys to understand this. Everybody that's being quiet right now is justifying the terrible creative. Everyone being quiet is justifying how bad the women's division really is being booked and the creative direction of the women's division. You keeping quiet is you making sure that, yeah, you're safe, but it's also saying to everybody else that you're okay with everything going on. But from a fan's point of view, it's not. The online chatter you hear about the women's division, it's not all right. It's not okay. It's not in a good state right now. So everybody keeping quiet, you're affecting the quality of the women's division, but you don't know because everybody is just with themselves and doing their own thing and worrying about their own person instead of backing Sasha Banks for what I think is the right way, the right thing to do. Nobody should sit here and justify terrible creative. There's a point, a breaking point, where everybody says enough is enough. Enough is enough. It took these two women to go out there and say, enough is enough. We're tired of this shit. We want better. We're tag team champions. You want to do this with us, but not focusing on the tag team titles. Why does this make sense? Back and forth, yada, yada, yada. And nobody seems to back them up on why they walked out. You're okay with why they walked out, or you're not okay with why they walked out. That's your choice. I'm sitting here telling you that I'm all right with them walking out because it doesn't make sense. It never made sense. Nothing I see on TV in regard to the tag team titles, the women's division, none of it makes sense. It's dreadful television. Dreadful. I do not believe that Naomi was manipulated by Sasha Banks. I find this to be a bullshit story. A bullshit story. Naomi is her own woman. She has every fucking reason in her own right to be upset with WWE Creative to a point where it would give her the reason to walk out. Now, I don't understand this other part of it about Naomi being backed, but Sasha is not being backed. You know, everybody is going to be on Naomi's side here in the company. I want you guys to understand why. Everybody's going to be on Naomi's side. They don't want to say anything bad about Naomi. I don't think they could really have any room to say anything bad about Naomi. Naomi is married into the Anoa'i family. Naomi is married to an Uso. The Usos are on TV in the Bloodline storyline, the Tribal Chief storyline, the Head of the Table storyline with the WWE Champion / Universal Champion, Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns is the biggest entity on WWE television. Without Roman Reigns, they have nothing. You do not want to anger Roman Reigns. You do not want to anger anybody in that family. You do not want to anger Dwayne Johnson, who may be coming in, may or may not be coming in for WrestleMania. You do not want to anger anybody in the Anoa'i family. Naomi is a part of that tribe. You do not want to anger Naomi and have that resonate down the line. Otherwise, there's going to be a lot of bad coming towards WWE. So, of course, everybody's going to say something good about Naomi. Everybody's, of course, going to back Naomi. Why wouldn't they? She knows where her status lies in that company, and she knows what it means if they do anything bad to her. So she pretty much, Naomi was probably in a mindset. I know if I was Naomi, I would be in a mindset, well, I could walk with you. I don't give a fuck. They ain't going to do anything to me because of where I am and who I'm married to and what family I'm married into. Naomi right now could do anything and they're not going to fire Naomi. There's no reason for WWE to fire Naomi. They can't fire Naomi because firing Naomi would trickle down and it would not be a good thing for WWE, man. So Naomi, this is another reason why I don't believe this storyline. Manipulating Naomi, Naomi doesn't need to be manipulated. Naomi walked knowing that she's pretty much bulletproof in this situation. So I don't find this story to be legit at all. Now, if you talk about Road Dogg was on the internet yesterday claiming that this was all a publicity stunt. Sasha Banks and Naomi, obviously everybody's got their opinion about it. Some passionate, some not. Banks and Naomi left the Women's Tag Team Championships on the desk of John Laurinaitis. People power. In the report that we read over the last couple of days before they left the arena, I say scrap the titles, strip them of the titles, retire the titles, get rid of them, and don't put them on TV. There's no reason why they need to be on TV. There's no tag team division. And if you are treating the titles like shit right now, and with the proposed plans, not focusing on the tag team titles, why do we have tag team titles and a tag team division that already doesn't exist anyway? I don't get it. Burn them, retire them, strip them, do whatever you got to do. Get rid of them. Get them off TV. Everybody wanted them, and then you cry. You want tag team championships, but I don't see anybody now backing up why the tag team division fucking sucks. So where are all these people that wanted the tag team championships? I don't see you saying anything. They never should have been created in the first place. It is a waste of fucking hardware. Road Dogg. Everybody has an opinion, like I said. Some less pleasant, some others like Road Dogg. Banks and Naomi left the tag team championships on John Laurinaitis' desk. And as Ringside News exclusively reported, there is also a strong belief backstage that Sasha Banks manipulated Naomi into leaving with her on Monday night. I don't believe that at all. But Road Dogg shared his thoughts on the whole thing. Road Dogg believes that it is all a publicity stunt to get heat on their tag team titles. He says, and I quote on Sirius XM Busted Open Radio, "I think it's a publicity stunt to try and add some heat to the tag team titles." Now, Bully Ray, a co-host on Busted Open Radio, he went on and said that he thinks it's possibly a work as well. And it's a work because it could be, and if it's not a work, it could be made into one and just be a take on real life. but a lot of people do still think that it's a work. I don't. I think it's a shoot. But if it is a work, Bully Ray said this could be a great way to transition Naomi into the bloodline and have her separated from Sasha Banks. It could all be about Naomi joining the bloodline and joining the Usos. So I don't want to tell you that that's not a possibility. WWE could always turn around and make something out of it. But right now, from what we know and what we've read, this is a shoot. It could turn into that, but right now it is a shoot. Road Dogg wants to say it's a publicity stunt. I don't think it's a publicity stunt at all. Sasha Banks, and the last time she walked out was not a publicity stunt. Sasha Banks has been known to be very, very serious about the way she's treated on television with creative, and she wears her heart on her sleeve. So I don't think this is a publicity stunt whatsoever. Sasha Banks doesn't need publicity. Sasha Banks is publicity. This is not a stunt of any way, shape, or form. Sasha Banks and Naomi apparently have also been pulled from WWE live events. This was reported by Ringside News and Brad Shepard. But Mikaze has already dumbed down these rumors. Mikaze is the husband of Sasha Banks. He said this today on Twitter: the bullshit being spewed is next level. So he's already dumbed down these rumors, and that has not happened according to what I think is the greatest source of all, and that is Sasha Banks' husband. So why wouldn't you go out there and believe him? I don't really know him at all on a personal level, but what I do know is that he wouldn't bullshit something about that, especially in regards to his wife. Jimmy Smith. Jimmy Smith is not sure if Sasha Banks and Naomi can ever recover after walking out of WWE. So Jimmy Smith has this podcast called Unlocking the Cage. He was as shocked as anybody when the news came through his headset that they had walked out and they were not there in the arena. Jimmy Smith gave his opinion on what he thinks will come next for Sasha and Naomi, and he is not sure how they will recover. He says this, and I quote, "So where does this leave them? It's hard when something like this becomes so public. I don't know Vince McMahon personally. I'm in meetings with him every week, but I don't know the man personally. I know what you know, which is get the events that we promised the fans, then we will deal with anything else, no matter how difficult, no matter how dramatic the problem is. Get the main event that we promised out there for the people." That didn't happen on Monday. So you look at it this way. How do Sasha and Naomi come back from this? I don't know, because this is not, if this was inside baseball, if we were inside baseball, if WWE had never released a statement about this, I would not be talking about it right now. Wouldn't be a public issue. You know, like that's behind the scenes stuff. I generally don't talk about behind the scenes stuff. I don't give away angles. I don't do any of that. This is now incredibly public in almost an unprecedented type of way, he says. End quote. So Jimmy Smith is out here talking about this, and he didn't really say anything that was out there to be, oh my God, why would he say that? He's just being honest with you. I don't know if he is talking about them recovering on a WWE TV standpoint. We don't know if Sasha Banks is going to be on TV in the next couple of weeks. She may be taking some time off away from this. She may be dealing with WWE management on her own time in private. Naomi, I don't think, is going to be suffering any consequences from this whatsoever for the reasons that I told you before. But Jimmy Smith seems to be open and honest about this. He's just as clueless as everybody else. He doesn't know anything. I don't know Vince McMahon, he says. I don't know anything outside what you guys know. He's out there. He's told what to do. He goes out there and does his job, just like Corey Graves. Corey Graves got a bunch of shit thrown at him on social media on Tuesday for calling Sasha Banks and Naomi unprofessional when it wasn't him that said that. It was Vince McMahon in his headset telling Corey Graves to say that. And WWE's got some balls to say Sasha and Naomi are unprofessional. WWE, management in WWE, is as unprofessional as they come. Didn't they fire CM Punk on his fucking wedding day? Didn't they send Mickie James her shit in a trash bag with inside meaning to that? Come on, people. You want to think that WWE is so professional? They are as unprofessional as they fucking come. Jimmy Smith doesn't know anything that we don't know, and he is just out there kind of on our same level. He's just trying to figure everything out as it comes, just like the rest of us. Sasha Banks apparently has alienated everyone backstage in WWE. This is also coming from Ringside News. They've exclusively reported that there is a belief, like I said, that Sasha Banks manipulated Naomi into leaving WWE with her on Monday night. There's a ton of heat on Sasha Banks right now, not so much on Naomi, who's lumped into this situation. Ringside News was also told by a tenured member of the creative team that Sasha Banks is not well liked backstage. I've been hearing this for years. This is not new information, especially to somebody like me. At this point, she has also alienated everyone backstage. On the other hand, we're told Naomi is well liked. This is not the first time Sasha Banks walked out of WWE. She asked Vince McMahon for her release a couple of years ago, but he sent her home for several months instead. She lost that passion for pro wrestling. As you guys know, via the documentaries and the Broken Skull sessions, she went to Japan to go find that spark and tried to learn the Japanese strong style to find that love for professional wrestling again, and it put her back in the mindset to come back and make her turn and have those great matches with Becky Lynch after she had walked away that spring. This is not the first time Sasha Banks has done it. This is not going to be the last time Sasha Banks does it with WWE. It was reported, like I said, by Brad Shepard that Banks and Naomi have been pulled off live events through July, but that was debunked by Makaze on social media. Shayna Baszler, if you guys want to look at this tweet, Shayna Baszler posted this on Twitter, and this was on May 17th. 12,000 likes, so clearly everybody is in with Shayna Baszler on this. She says, "There shall come a time far from now when our chapter itself is dying, even as I am now dying. Then, my sons, I will listen for your call from whatever realms of death hold me, and I shall come, no matter what laws of life and death forbid. At the end, I will be there for the final battle." Now, that is a very cryptic tweet, but from what I can comprehend from this is that Shayna Baszler is backing Sasha Banks and Naomi on this situation, and that when that time comes, she will be there in that final battle to do battle alongside them because she is in support of both of them. So I love that. So again, it could be a possibility that Ringside News report is completely a bullshit story, and that Sasha Banks is very well liked backstage by a majority of the women backstage. But clearly, Shayna Baszler out here preaching to the choir that Sasha Banks and Naomi, they should absolutely be standing up for themselves. And, when everybody else wants to talk shit, I'm going to be standing right here doing battle alongside you. I love it. I absolutely love it. I do not think that Sasha Banks manipulated Naomi. And you guys have to understand the situation at hand here. If you guys listened to my live stream yesterday, WWE wanted Sasha Banks and Naomi to hold the Women's Tag Team Championships without actively defending them up until and through Money in the Bank. They wanted Naomi to wrestle Bianca Belair. There was a six-pack challenge. Naomi was supposed to pin Sasha Banks in the six-pack challenge. Mistake number one. Why would you do that? Why were they even on Monday Night Raw? Why were they even on Monday Night Raw, being SmackDown superstars? Why are they in that six-pack challenge when they have nothing to do with the singles championships right now held by Bianca Belair and Ronda Rousey? Then you got Doudrop, who's over there with Nikki Ash. They just formed a tag team. So realistically, you put your only two tag teams in this six-pack challenge, along with Asuka and Becky Lynch, and you're asking me to care, and you're asking Sasha to go along with terrible creative. You're asking Naomi to go along with terrible creative, when in reality, those two teams should be building a feud with each other. Sasha Banks and Naomi have no other tag team opponents outside of now the newly formed team of Doudrop and Nikki Ash. So why are they there? There's no other women on the show for you to put into that match. You could have used anybody from SmackDown, Xia Li, Shotzi Blackheart, Aaliyah. They're not being used on TV. It's okay for you to use Sasha Banks and Naomi, though, right, from SmackDown? Why aren't you utilizing the other women to put into that match and give them a spotlight to maybe get over? What about the rest of the women on Monday Night Raw? Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan, Dana Brooke, Carmella, Zelina. They're all there. Why aren't you using them? I don't really understand the logic behind why this six-pack challenge was even made. None of it made sense from the word go. Sasha being pinned by Naomi didn't make sense. And then we found out that Naomi was supposed to wrestle Bianca Belair at Hell in a Cell. Why? She's not a Monday Night Raw superstar. Sasha Banks was supposed to go to SmackDown and wrestle Ronda Rousey. They were being used and going to be used as filler for Bianca Belair and Ronda Rousey. Then the reports came out as to why WWE wanted to do these two particular individual matches. WWE then reportedly wanted Sasha to put over Ronda and Naomi to put over Bianca. I don't understand that. That was the most mind-numbingly stupid aspect of the entire report. Sasha Banks and Ronda Rousey, we've already seen that. Sasha is already laid down for Ronda Rousey. You're asking Sasha to help Ronda get more over? I'm sorry, that's not Sasha Banks' fucking problem. That's WWE's problem. Ronda's come in and on day one was already a fucking flop. Why would you ask Sasha to do something that she's already done? Sasha Banks gave Ronda Rousey the best match of her first run there in WWE. Ronda helped the division back then when she was there the first time around. This time around, she's actively killing the division. So now you're asking unfairly for Sasha Banks to drop what she's doing and drop what she had plans for to help you get Ronda over? I don't find that to be fair at all. That's not Sasha's fucking problem. That's Ronda's problem, and that's your fucking problem. You left Ronda with no division. Sasha's there, and that's it. Bayley's not there. Charlotte's not there. You killed the rest of the fucking division dead. There's nobody else. Xia Li is pretty much on her way out. Shotzi Blackheart, I wouldn't be surprised if she's on John Laurinaitis' fucking phone book. And Aaliyah, goodbye. There's nobody left on SmackDown. Natalya, Shayna Baszler, those aren't challenges for Ronda Rousey. So you're asking Sasha to do something that she's already done and asking her to be filler. It doesn't make sense and it's not fair. Naomi, this is even more of a head-scratching one. Naomi, you're asking Naomi to help get Bianca Belair over. Wasn't that the fucking purpose of Bianca wrestling Becky Lynch at WrestleMania? Oh, it didn't work, right? Just like I told you it wouldn't work. That's what WWE's pretty much telling you. Naomi is being tasked with helping get Bianca Belair over. Whose fucking fault is that? You're asking Naomi and Sasha to help get over two women that should already be over, but WWE has dropped the ball on both. Naomi, there's no fucking way Naomi is going to be tasked and be successful by getting Bianca Belair over. Sasha Banks did all the work last year at WrestleMania. WWE killed everything that Sasha Banks did at WrestleMania by burying Bianca at SummerSlam last year in 27 seconds. They tried to resuscitate Bianca Belair with everything that they've done on this road to WrestleMania this year by helping her get into a title match with Becky Lynch. Had a great match, and here we are, and Bianca is right back to square one. Bianca has had two opportunities to get over. One via Sasha Banks last year in the main event of WrestleMania, one of the most important main events in WrestleMania history with two black women WrestleMania main eventing for the first time ever. And Sasha put her over in grand fashion on the biggest stage in all of pro wrestling. WWE killed Bianca's run right out of the gate and wasted every fucking thing that Sasha Banks did and Bayley during that summer as well did by having Becky come on in and beat Bianca in 27 fucking seconds. Then WWE gives me Becky Lynch versus Bianca Belair this year, which may go down as the best women's match all year. And now you want Naomi to help get Bianca Belair. Oh, she's had two opportunities to get over. What the fuck do you think Naomi's gonna do? You're asking Naomi to do what Sasha's already done, and there's no way Naomi's gonna be better than Sasha in helping aid Bianca Belair. Are you fucking kidding me? And then there are people backstage that are saying, well, I don't know why they're upset. I don't know why Sasha Banks is upset. Is that what caused all this chaos? You're backing terrible creative. None of you ask questions? None of you ask questions. This is fucked up. Now the smear campaign, Sasha's manipulating Naomi, Sasha's the bad guy, nobody's backing Sasha Banks. I feel like this is all complete bullshit. It is unfair. How anybody can justify the creative decision of WWE here I don't know, man. I swear to God, I don't know what anybody's... If you ain't backing Sasha Banks on this situation, I don't know what the fuck you're doing. You're actively telling me and everybody else that you justify shit creative and that you're okay with TV not making sense. Oh, they're paid actors. They're supposed to play a part on television. They play a role on television. Just do your job. Blah, 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 blah. I don't like my intelligence insulted. And neither should you. WWE should be fucking ashamed of themselves. Nobody's manipulating anybody. They walked out because the terrible creative is at an all-time worst. Get with the fucking program, man. Thank you guys so very much for all of your support, man. We're going to continue to follow this situation as news breaks. I thank you guys very much for all your support. Hit that thumbs up. Let's try for 1,000 likes minimum on today's OTS Extra. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. We're dangerously close to 133,000 subscribers. And again, please follow me on social media at JDfromNY206. That's Twitter and Instagram. Like I said, guys, I will keep you updated on everything. You guys want to know the latest and have the most factual opinion about everything Sasha Banks and Naomi and this story. You keep it right here on Off the Script. I'll see you guys later tonight for AEW Dynamite and the post show right here on OTS. I'll see you guys later.